Greetings everyone, my name is Numbers Can Be Fun and welcome to a video about Luanti, or formerly known as Minetest. For those who are unfamiliar with this engine, it is an open source voxel game engine. You can play one of their many games, mod a game to your liking, make your own game, or play on many multiplayer servers. So for the purposes of this video, I've gone ahead and I've found an image from the community on their Discord for Luanti. This is not the official image, and it's very likely when they go ahead and do the actual software update that this will not be the official image. But just for the purposes of this video and to keep everything consistent, I went ahead and I grabbed something that I thought looked good, looked relevant, and put it in for the purposes of this video. With all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at what you can actually do. So I have the original Minetest game pulled up right here, and I have a file already created. This is one of the most basic things that you can do with Minetest is just play Minetest. It does come with a very basic game that you can install. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what Minetest actually is. So if you go into a basic game of Minetest, or Luanti at this point, because it's not Minetest game anymore, you're going to get generated a world very similar to this, and you're going to be able to go around. You'll be able to play the base game. There is no hunger support as of right now, but you can do a lot of creative things. You can make things to your heart's desire, and it works pretty much just like any voxel based game would. You can go around, you can place blocks, you can fly, you can do all of that fun stuff. You have tools, various different tools that you can utilize throughout your playthrough. So if you wanted to have a diamond axe, you know, that's all available. All the basic stuff that you would expect in a voxel-based game should be available to you with the basic Minetest game that you can get in Luanti. Now, with all of that out of the way, what else can you do with it? Because this is all well and good for maybe about 5 to 10 minutes until you get bored of creating stuff. But then when you want to actually play something, what do? So that's when you actually go over to content and you click browse online content. And this is going to bring you to a package manager, a content database that is going to show you all the packages, all the games, all the mods, and all the texture packs that are available to you in the Luanti game engine. So if you're looking for more games, I can highly recommend Backrooms Test. We've done this on this channel before. Obviously, Minetest game is the one that we just played a couple of seconds ago. Vox Libre is a game that I've played on this channel for months now. Voxel Forge is another game that I'm very much looking forward to testing out, trying, and playing around with. But there are dozens and dozens of games available for this engine already. So all you really need to do is go in there and just start downloading them and trying them out. And it's really just as simple as clicking a button like this. So we'll go ahead and we'll click on Exile here. It's a game I've never played before. So we'll go ahead, we'll go over to Exile. It'll download. Here's Exile. We'll make a brand new map. So we'll call it Exile. We'll hop right into the map. And here we are right now. We're now in Exile, which is a completely different game. It has a completely different UI, different stats, everything. And all we had to do was click a couple of buttons. Now I'm still in creative mode here, so there's not really going to be much that's going on here. But this actually looks like a pretty awesome game to check out. What is this weird pit that formed? That's a death trap in and of itself. But, I mean, that's what I'm talking about here, though. There isn't really too much you really need to do. There isn't really too much you need to do as the user in order to start enjoying a better experience with this engine. You just go in and you start downloading things to your heart's content. So let's go ahead, we'll exit to the menu here. Let's take a look. So one of the things you may have noticed is texture packs. Now I do have my own texture pack that I am working on currently, which is what you've noticed getting loaded in throughout this entire video is one of the texture packs, but you can go ahead and disable that texture pack. You can download additional texture packs, and with the same thing as we did before, instead of going to games, we go to texture packs, and you can find a large amount of texture packs available to you already through the content database that's available through this engine. And again, you don't even have to leave the program to do this. You can download, install, and activate all of these texture packs right with the click of one button. So let's go ahead. We'll download Dungeon Soup here, which is a completely different texture pack. Never used this texture pack before, never worked on it. So we'll go ahead and we'll click that, we'll install that, and we'll jump over to Vox Libre real quick, and we'll just open up Minetest, why not? We'll take a look, we'll see what the texture pack has to offer, and see how it changes the game quite a bit. And this will be a really good example of what that can do for you. If it loads, come on. Any second now. Sometimes with these texture packs, it's a little crunchy as far as the loading is concerned. But yeah, here we go. So here is a world that obviously I've been messing around with, and just kind of blowing up and just doing like random crazy stuff with. But we can see that a lot of the textures from the game have already been changed. This was not what we were looking at a few minutes ago. Let's see if we can actually brighten this up a little bit. And that's kind of the whole point. It's not a huge difference between the texture pack that we were playing with a couple of minutes ago and the one we have now, but it is different. It's unique, and it adds a little bit of subtlety to your gameplay experience. So if you're looking for different textures, again, not only am I going to start developing texture packs for Luanti and Minetest and Vox Libre, but for some of the other mods and games available for this software as well. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at one last thing. So another thing that I wanted to look at real quick was let's take a look at some of the mods. Now, that's where this gets a little weird, because some of the mods are compatible with some games, some of them are compatible with just the engine themselves, and they just changed the engine, so it really just kind of just depends. So for example, this Pride Flags mod here not only works with Minetest, but it will work with Vox Libre. But as an example, right, if you wanted to actually use the Pride Flags, you can't actually get them legitimately in the survival playthrough of Vox Libre. If you wanted them in your survival world, you would actually have to cheat, go into creative mode, and install them that way, then go back and basically go, aha, Scout's honor, I didn't actually cheat anything into the game. And that would be the only way to be able to do that. So there's a little wonkiness with it, but as you can see, some of the mods that I already have installed for like Vox Libre, just add like sit and lay commands into it. You can add additional furniture. You can have mod packs that will change specific parts of specific games. So Harder Voxels, for example, is a mod pack that makes Vox Libre more difficult, something that I've been playing around with in the background. But Skins DB and Pride Flags, again, those are mods for Minetest that just sometimes are sort of compatible with Vox Libre. But remember, Vox Libre was never designed to work with these two mod packs. These two mod packs were designed to work with the game engine. Because Vox Libre works with the game engine, they sometimes work with Vox Libre. So hopefully I've articulated that clearly enough so that everybody can understand it. But let's go back over to the mods. We'll go to mod test. So if you want to actually activate mods, so you'll have to go to this button, click select mods, and you'll just want to go ahead and you'll want to turn on the mods that you want to mess around with. So we'll go ahead and we'll enable this one as well so that we can take a look at all the mods. We'll go back into that creative world that we were just in a minute ago for Vox Libre, and we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at some of the different stuff that is available in those mods. And this isn't like a mod pack review. I do want to do my own like separate mod pack review for like some of the furniture items and stuff like that that are available to you. But the mod will go ahead and add stuff like that. So look, now there's like birch tables available, which is not an item that you can normally get in Vox Libre. You can't craft this. I know this because I've played Vox Libre for so long on this channel. But you can't normally get this. You can't normally craft it. You would have to download the mod to be able to have tables. But if you're just looking for something simple that's well designed, or you're looking to download the base textures of a mod pack and modify the textures yourselves. So if you didn't like the way this looks, you can just go into any graphical editor like Krita or, you know, GIMP or anything like that, and go ahead and start modifying these textures and change the way. And all you would really need to do is download the mod that does all the heavy lifting in the background and adds those textures to the game already. So that's just something, for example, that you can do. Obviously, if I stop flying here for a second, let's go ahead and we'll do the /sit command. And as you can see, we are now sitting on the ground. If I do the /lay command, It didn't work. /lay. There we go. We're now laying on the ground. Kind of in a weird position, but hey, it works, right? That's the whole point. It does work. So those commands do actually have an impact on the game. Now for harder voxels, you can't do that in creative mode, for example. You would have to go and do an actual gameplay, and we will be doing a proper review of not only this furniture mod for Box Libre, but for harder voxels itself. That will be its own content video. So we're not gonna waste a bunch of time doing that, especially when we could, you know, for example, just like do it properly in a separate video. I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second. But that pretty much is gonna cover the entirety of just like the very basics about what Luanti is and what Luanti can offer to you as the player. It's something that when I first looked at it on a surface level, I thought this was just a copy of Minecraft. And if you spend more than 5 minutes with this game, you will find that there are games similar to Minecraft, but this is its own engine with its own games, its own mods, its own community, and its own support, and it's extremely well maintained. It's a very good, fun game, and if you want any evidence of that whatsoever, I really do encourage you to check out my Box Libre playthrough, because we've spent months on this channel having a wonderful time tonight. And all of that is possible because of the open source developers that do this with not even a need for thanks. They just do this because they love these projects and they want you to have fun with their game, or at least 5 minutes. But with all of that out of the way, if you haven't subscribed to me yet, I would very much appreciate your subscription. If you have any thoughts about Luanti or Minetest or any of the mods or the games, I would really appreciate your thoughts down in the comments below. But with all of that, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope everyone out there has a wonderful day.